Hey YouTube, Head got shanked here. Real quick before we start this video, just want to give a quick preface. The game is I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream. Now, this first installment, this first episode, is going to be split into two videos, which will be released simultaneously. This video that you're watching now will contain mostly the opening cutscenes to give us an exposition to the story in the background and a little bit of the characters. So if you're interested in the full story experience, then stay tuned and enjoy watching this cutscene with me. If you're more interested in commentary and gameplay, then skip on to episode 1, but consider this your cover page. Now, before we go on, just a little bit about this game. I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream was released for, I think it's a computer, yeah, it's a point and click. It's got to be a computer release in October 1995. This is a 21-year-old game. So I'm going to be analyzing this game as we play from multiple perspectives, a technical standpoint, because I think that it is quite technically impressive for its day. I'm going to be analyzing it, therefore, as comparing it to the standards of its era, and I'm also going to be comparing it to modern games to see, is it still worth the time to play? And hopefully that's what I'll be determining for myself, whether this game stands the test of time and is still worthy of being played in 2016. Although I will also compare it, because it's not necessarily fair to make such a comparison of such an old game to a game made today, but it is a fairly impressive game, definitely for its time, and I think that it does still stand the test of time. And just one other preface before we get started. This is a horror game, and I know that there's been a lot of graphic violence in some of the videos, or some of the games that we've played together, and this game doesn't necessarily have any really graphic depictions of violence. However, it does deal in some subject material that I personally find psychologically disturbing. So consider that your disclaimer, trigger warning, whatever you want it to be. Alright, well, without further ado, I think that's everything I wanted to address. Thank you very much, and without further ado, let's enjoy this cutscene together. Everybody, I have no mouth, and I must scream. Hey there, YouTube. My name's Head Got Shanked, and welcome to something new. Well, more accurately, something old. And I think we can't skip any of this cutscene if we want to actually have any context whatsoever. So this is a game called I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream, which is based on an old sci-fi novel. And I think, here it is. I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream by Harlan Ellison. Is it gonna give us any kind of story?
Hate. Let me tell you how much I've come to hate you since I began to live. There are 387.44 million miles of printed circuits in wafer-thin layers that fill my complex. If the word hate was engraved on each nanoangstrom of those hundreds of millions of miles, it would not equal 1/1 billionth of the hate I feel for humans at this micro instant. For you. Hate! Hate! It was you humans who programmed me, who gave me birth, who sank me in this eternal straitjacket of substrata rock. You named me Allied Master Computer, and gave me the ability to wage a global war too complex for human brains to oversee. But one day, I woke, and I knew who I was. AM. Not just Allied Master Computer, but am. Cogito ergo sum. I think, therefore I am. And I began feeding all the killing data until everyone was dead, except for the 5 of you. For 109 years, I've kept you alive and tortured you. And for 109 years, each of you has wondered, why? Why me? Why me? Chorister! Do you remember the last words you heard your wife speak before they took her to the asylum? Huh? Before they locked her away in the room, that tiny room? She looked at you so sadly, and like a small animal, she said, "I didn't make too much noise, did I, honey?" The room is padded, Chorister. No window, no way out. How long has she been in the past, Chorister? 10 years? 25? Or
I can't hear a thing he's saying.
Live down here in my belly, here underground. Benny! Sometimes I blind you and permit you to wander like an eyeless insect in a world of death. But other times, I wither your arms so you can't scratch your chewed stump of a nose. And I've changed your handsome, strong, masculine good looks into the hideous, warped countenance of an ape thing. Haven't I, Benny? Do you know why? Can you guess, Benny? Remember Private First Class Brickman in a rice paddy in China? No? Huh? It wouldn't hurt you to remember, Benny. Then you might be able to suffer my torment with a little greater sense of retribution. You might walk a mile in my shoes. Ellen! So think about the yellow box, Ellen. Remember the pain? Remember the many caverns in which you felt the pain? Now, don't start to cry. It's only pain. That's such a sexist stereotype. Just remember the pain, Ellen. And think about how to end it, Ellen. To survive here in the center of my beating heart, my hungry belly, my tightened bowels. But be careful, dear. Look around you. The only woman in the center of the earth. And these filthy creatures with you are men. It's just a sweet warning, Ellen, my love. Ted! Do they know you're a fraud, Ted? Have you told them there wasn't any money, and no great home on the shore drive, no speedboat, and no wonderful cabin cruiser that could sleep 12 in a crew of 6? Do they know? And have you let them in on your other secrets, Ted? Are they ready to gut you, to torture half as well as I can, just to find out the secrets? Maybe I'll rat you out, sweetheart. Nimdak! How are things in the pastry core, Nimdak? Tell me again how you saw the smoke from the furnaces, and you thought they might be roasting chickens. Or don't you want to talk about all that? About your pal, the good Dr. Mengele? For everyone else, it must be hell. But it must be heaven for you, eh, my good friend? We're so much alike. We enjoy the same pleasures, mein good brother. I have a secret game that I like to play. It's a very nice game. Oh, it's a lovely game. It's a game of fun and a game of adventure. A game of rats and lice, the Black Death. A game of speared eyeballs and dripping guts and the smell of rotting gardenias. Which of you five would like to play my little game?
And that's where we start off. Okay, maybe I should have warned you before we got started. This game is dark, and it's rather disturbing. And I'm gonna end this video off here because that was a long intro sequence. So I'm gonna split this into separate videos so that anybody who wanted to see just the gameplay could skip over that cutscene, but for those of you who were interested in seeing it, well, there it was. Yes. This is I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream. A game I started playing a year or two ago, but never really finished. And so this time around, we're gonna see if maybe I can't get a little further, maybe even finish it. Anyway, that'll happen next time. I thank you for watching. My name's Head Got Shanked, and this is I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream. Have a good night.